God. Hello, baby. Hi. Hi. Hi there. My name is Em, and I collect cookbooks. I started collecting cookbooks at a very young age, and now, as an adult, I am paying for it, which is why I have decided that I'm not allowed to buy any more until I have finished cooking from every single one that I own. So, this week's book is a request from someone that I like very, very much. Thanks a lot for the request, Amy. I hope you like what I made from here. Gordon Ramsay's Eat Fast Food. I mean, I can't actually remember when I got this one, but knowing me, chances are I bought it because it says recipes from the F word, and I'm very immature, and I'm 5 years old, basically. So, this is what we have. So, the recipes here are, again, pretty good. I'm actually learning a lot from all these books that I'm being forced to cook from, despite not having touched them before. Okay, so, granted, this is a fast food cookbook, which is why it's still day. And, God, I've been so productive today. I've managed to, finish everything while the sun is still up. And I managed to go get a swim. So, yeah, if you guys want to cook something really, really quickly and, still impressed, y'all should try this book. It's pretty good. Sausage and beans, the usuals. Scrambled eggs on toast. English stuff. I decided to make melon with tequila and lime because I have tequila. And I really felt like, trying something different. So, alcohol. And I also made a tomato and pesto tart. I used pre-bought puff pastry. Don't be snooty about it. Store-bought puff pastry is actually really, 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 really good. And there's this brand here in Malaysia called Kawan, which basically just means friend. So yeah, I think they are a pretty good friend. I mean, they cut down the prep time by hours. So I used that to make this tomato and pesto tart, and it worked out really, really great. And then I also made something that I'm not sure all of you would like. So if you're not a fan of raw fish, avert your eyes when I tell you. So here we begin with all the fixings that you need for the tart. And there we have my favorite store-bought puff pastry. So you're going to cut a little perimeter around the edge, about 1 inch. You don't want to cut through the entire piece, just give a little dent into the pastry so that it, puffs up. And then you're going to paint on some pesto. You can make your own. I was too lazy. It doesn't really have to look neat or anything. Just make sure you get pesto all across the square, and then add some thyme, little bits and pieces of leaves. And because I'm a moron who forgot that I need the surface space, I had to move the tart and then chop up some rosemary with a mezzaluna, which, in post-editing, I sort of wish I had wiped it down a little bit because that's so messy. But, that's the trick. Sprinkle that on, and then you want to half your cherry tomatoes, like so, and then arrange them on the tart. It's pretty easy work, this. And once you've arranged it, you're going to put on some cheese. So I've gone ahead and given you all cheese. And another gratuitous cheese shot right here. This is Parmigiano Reggiano. The recipe calls for parmesan, which I was too lazy to buy, plus I had the other stuff lying around. The recipe also says to give it an egg wash, but I didn't feel like cracking open a whole egg, and milk does the trick just fine. And as you see, this is in a preheated 220 degrees Celsius oven, bubbling away, looking beautiful, and filling the house with a very, very good fragrance. And this is how you cut basil, by the way. You roll it up, and then you slice to get the fine julienne. Which you then strew atop your tart before drizzling with a bit of olive oil. You can do extra virgin or regular, doesn't really matter. Listen to the puff pastry. You hear that? That crunch. That is the mark of really good puff pastry. And this is store-bought, so don't be a snob about it, just go out and get it. Now we move on to the salmon dish. So it starts with squeezing lime and mixing that with sesame oil, soy sauce, olive oil, salt, and pepper. The recipe asks for a bit of sugar, which I completely forgot, but let's just pretend I'm being diabetic conscious and, you know, not using it. But actually I did realize that it didn't really do much of anything, even though I didn't add the sugar, so, you know. And how I cut the fish was basically I sliced it off at an angle and scraped it off the skin. You want to make sure this is really, really thinly sliced so that it macerates a bit better in the marinade. So you will have to go slow and make sure you check during the slicing for bones, because nobody wants to eat a piece of raw fish only to be stabbed by a bone. That's not fun at all. So I arranged it in this little flower pattern because I thought it would be cute. And it did turn out kind of cute, I think. So now you're gonna thinly slice some garlic. I'm again triggering a lot of people with my cutting habits and my lack of thumb tucking. And then you're gonna finely julienne some spring onion. So what this does is once you put it inside water, it tends to curl up. Something happens with the, well, I would say the structure of the spring onion, and it really just curls up like tentacles once it's in water. And then after that you want to slice some chilies. I didn't remove the seeds because I wanted it to be a bit spicier. So time to assemble. I just filled the center with the spring onion, and you want a lot because it tastes really good with the salmon itself. And then you strew over the chilies and the garlic. I know raw garlic is squicky for some of you, but it really does give a nice itch here, and you can pick it out if you don't want to eat it after. It helps with the marinade. So now you drizzle over the marinade, making sure to make it look as aesthetically pleasing as possible, because there is no food porn without gratuitous drizzling. I'm gonna add some coriander. Again, all of this tastes really good together, so you're gonna make sure in every mouthful you get a bit of everything, which I did not here. I was stupid. I have learned the error of my ways. And last up, we're going to get half a honeydew melon, scrape out the seeds,
and then start the ball. No, it's not as easy as it looks, and my balls had the tendency of being flat at the bottom, like not perfect little spheres. But you know what? Who cares as long as they taste good, right? And let me tell you, these guys really did taste very, very good. So you're gonna keep balling and balling and balling and balling until you don't have any more ability to make nice looking balls. After which, you cut everything else out and keep the rest. You can use it in a smoothie or whatever. So the dressing here starts with honey. Some of it, I'm just eyeballing everything, I don't really measure. After the honey, you're gonna add a little bit of salt to give it a nice edge, and then some tequila. The recipe stipulates that it has to be cold. I didn't bother because I was gonna put the whole thing in the fridge anyway after that. And now some lime juice because it's sharper. You're also supposed to use the zest, but I decided to use the zest on top after. So squeeze that. This is very good lime, has a lot of juice. I was very pleased. Come on. There we go. At this point, you want to pour in your marinade. Taking care to scrape out every last bit of the honey. And then you're gonna finally chop some mint. I used apple mint here. Seemed like the ideal mint to go for dessert, especially. Give it a quick toss afterwards. And then snowfall of lime zest. And because I really like an excuse to use my little birds, there we go. I would refrigerate this for at least half an hour before eating it. But if you need to taste one, I totally don't judge you. So I think ultimately one of my favorite words. I like how things turned out. I always seem to like how things turn out, don't I? So with all that being said and done, I have to say that I really did enjoy all the food that I made. I mean, the fact that it was really easy to make and really fast was especially amazing for me. I really liked the tart. The puff pastry was really good, really crisp, and it tasted so good, and it smelled great while it was cooking. So, you know, it's very helpful if you want to impress people without putting in too much effort. So, and then I do like the salmon. I think it's not everyone's taste, but I would totally enjoy that on top of like rice. I don't really like rice, but I swear to God, when I made that, I was like, yeah, rice would be really good with this right about now. Tequila, honeydew. I mean, what's to hate? That's amazing. I mean, it's really good. So if you have some spare honeydew lying around and some tequila and lime, I would highly recommend. 100% would do again. So thank you all so much. I've had a few new followers this week. Thank you for joining us on this mission to humiliate me and to force me to cook from all my books before I bankrupt myself buying new ones. Thanks, Liana. Please subscribe and give this a like and comment to let me know what you would like me to cook from next. If not, I'm just gonna pick a random book because I'm all out of requests. So if you wanna
stop that from happening, let me know what you would like to see. Until then, thank y'all. See you next time.